Hi guys, this is Jules and welcome to my December wrap up and also a jar pick. Well, this ain't really a jar, but it's at least a container for a mint. And also the books I read in the books I read in December. I read 17 books. 3 of them I don't have with me physically, or the also I don't have a fourth one either because it's actually a free book that was on Wattpad. And actually I'm gonna do that one first here in a minute. And also I have my January TBR as well. And sorry if the noise is kind of loud. I got my radio going and a game being played by my man. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna just go ahead and get started with the free book I read. And that is The Dead List by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Sorry about the glares, and it's not the best picture. So, but I actually enjoyed this book. I believe I gave this book 5 stars on Goodreads, and it was a very smooth read. A little hard at first to kind of stay with it, but once I got going, it was really good. Very good book. Definitely would read it again. Was my 3rd book of hers I read. Can't wait to read more of her books. The next book I read in December was Mary Kate and Ashley, their new adventure books, The Case of the Golden Slipper, by Melina Metz. And this is a young adult book, a very cute book, simple. They tried to help a princess, and she supposedly got kidnapped, but she really didn't. But all very adorable storyline. The next book I read was also another New Adventures of Mary Kate book, The Case of the Surprise Call, also by Melinda Metz. And this is a cute book. I grew up reading their books a long time ago as well. In this one, they're at the main detective mansion and have to solve a case there and help their grandma solve it while their grandma's also solving another case. So, keeps you on your toes a little bit. But very simple, cute. Definitely a good, cute read if you want to take a break from really big books. The next book I read was Jumble Joan by Rose Implay. This reminds me of the Narnia kids. A very cute little book. And the boys try to scare their sister, and then the sister scares them really good. Next, I read Absolutely Lucy by Eileen Cooper. This one is really cute. I love the cover on this one because it's a cute little dog, and I forget what breed it is offhand, but very adorable. I found out this was a series, and there's like 5 other books, and I wouldn't mind reading another 5 because it's actually a very cute story about a dog and a little boy. So very cute, especially if you need a uplifter read. And I believe I gave all those books like 4 stars. The next book I read, Morning Girl by Michael Doris. This one, I believe I gave 4 stars, only because I think it needed more plot, but it was a all good, smooth written story, a very touching one, but needed more plot though. Next book I read was Little Red Riding Hood by Robin Bryant. Just another retelling of a classic. Next book I read was Salt in Your Shoes by Dolores Jordan. Basically a book kind of based on Michael Jordan. Very cute, simple, and it's adorable. The storyline in this, very cute and very actually touching story too. The next book I read was Bobby the Bunny Rabbit by Animal Board Books. Just was a little book, just a simple read, just because I needed a break. The next book I read was The Last Airbender, Zuko's Story by Dave Roman and Alice Wugis. This was cute, but I also would say it's a very good storyline because I really enjoy the Last Airbender series show on TV. I really enjoy it. It was nice to hear Zuko's side and everything. And this is actually a graphic comic. Tells about what happened as he was getting banished from the Fire Nation. And also at the end of this shows how they did the book and the drawings for this book. So all around a good comic book to read. And I believe I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read was The Hidden Girl, A True Story of the Holocaust by Lola Rain Kaufman. And it's basically a memoir about her life when she had to go through the Holocaust. And when this book starts, she's like 5 years old and goes up till she's 8. And once she turns 8, that's when things change. And Hitler's causing problems for the Jews, and she has to go into hiding, and basically explains her side of the story when the Holocaust was going on. And also in this story, you find out about references in here as well in the back of the book. To go check out. I don't know if you can read any of those. Hopefully you can. And also, on the back is the dress she wore. And she donated it to a museum for everybody to see. And her mom made it. And she wore that dress for like a year. A little over a year, even, I think. But a sad story, but very all good round true story. The next book I read was Flashback by Gail Wilson. This is a romance/suspense novel. This is about a little girl that I believe this is the little girl on the cover, Rain Nolan, gets kidnapped from her bed at night, and they're trying to find her. Chief Eden Reddick from the precinct in that town is searching for this little girl, Rain, and also she ends up meeting Jake Underwood that's said he had a vision about the little girl and possibly about her and thinks it might help. At first, Chief Eden is like suspicious and don't think they're gonna help, but as it goes along it helps. And also other things start to come up, dealing with her past, with the chief's past, when her sister disappeared and someone keeps trying to scare her with props of when her sister went missing. And as this goes along, there's also a little romance that happens between Jake Underwood and Chief Reddick. So, all around good story. It does end well, and I believe I gave this book 4 stars at least on Goodreads. I don't remember, but I believe so. The next book I read was Every Day from the Land of Great Waters by Charles Louis Severance. Sorry if you can't see there. This was a very good poem book. My first poem book, and I really enjoyed it. It had Christmas poems in here. It's got poems inspiration. It's got a couple variations. Excuse me. Of types of poems in here. Definitely a good read if you're looking for something to inspire you. This be a good inspiration book, I would think. I actually enjoyed it. Some poems were more touching than others, but definitely a good first poem book that I've ever read. The next book I read was 300 by Frank Miller and Lynn Varley. This book is actually a graphic novel comic and very graphic. But very detailed though. Very good graphic comic book though. Very well put together. I would definitely suggest reading it if you enjoy graphic novels and like books about the history of the 300 Romans that went to battle. All around good book. I believe I gave this book 4 stars on Goodreads. But I definitely enjoyed reading this comic. It was a nice, quick read. But other than that, all around, good comic book. Like I said, very graphic. For me, it's not something I would read all the time though. So that's all the books I read in December. I'll go ahead and show all of them. So all the books I read for December. And the reason I read so many like thinner books, it was more because I needed the break. I was reading a lot of big books that were like 300 to 600 page books. I just needed a good break, and decided to read a lot of young adult books and kind of kids books just to kind of mellow out a little bit and keep myself reading because I didn't want to burn myself out. So I'll then also that's the books I have with me. I'll now mention the other 3 books I did read in December but don't have with me, and that's a football book. I forget who it's by. It is on my Goodreads. It's the only football book I read that was a kid's book, and I read it because I ended up reading to a friend of mine's kid. Same with these other 2. Dopey Makes a Scarf, I believe is the title. That's also a Goodreads. And then the third one is Dinosaurs. And all 3 of those are on Goodreads if you want to check those books out and maybe read them to your kids. But all were cute, and I believe I gave them all 3 to 4 stars. All around cute books. I'll now go ahead and do my January TBR. The first book I plan on reading in January is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, and this is a prequel, 0.1 through 0.5. So, and I love the covers. This way in her warrior, and then the back being her in a dress but in the same pose. So like I said, this is the novels. And all the novels are. Give me a minute. The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. The Assassin and the Healer, the Assassin in the Desert, the Assassin in the Underworld, and lastly, the Assassin in the Empire is all that's in this one, and they just named it the Assassin's Blade for all the 0 from 0.1 to 0.5. The next book is book 1 in this series. I think it's the series called Throne of Glass series. This is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, the first book in the Throne of Glass series. Like I said, I love the covers. They're like awesome. Warrior, and then wearing a dress. Sorry about the glares. But book 2 of the Throne of Glass series, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Next, Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is book 3. And also, I hope to get book 4, which I believe is Shadow. I forget what the last one's called. I think Shadow of the Throne or something like that. I forget what the last one's called. Give me a minute, see if I can find it on one of these ones I have. No, I don't say. So I believe it's Shadows of the Throne, something like that. Also by Sarah J. Maas. Sorry if I got that wrong. You guys can let me know exact title down below in the comments. But also that's the 4th book, and I definitely would like to read that in January as well. So that's all the books I'm gonna read, including the 4th book that's not here. It's all the books I want to read in January, and these are all library books. So I'll now get on to my jar pick. Well, I should say a little container pick, mini container. See. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. The first book in the Harry Potter. Well, I own this book, and also I have not read the books yet, so I'm actually really excited. I finally get to read the first book. I have seen the movies, but finally it'd be good to read the books. So that's my pick. Jar pick, or I guess little container pick. However you want to, I guess, say it. Until I get a little jar, I'll be using this for here at my beach house, and at my other places it's actually a jar. So that's pretty much what I'll be reading for January and what I read in December. So you guys can also expect my Friday reads as well. So these videos should be up within the next few days here, hopefully. So that's it, and I hope you all had a good New Year and happy evening with your New Year, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.